All right, welcome to my webinar, and I tend to call it like a PDF, and it's where I'm gonna talk about programming, design on Fridays, and I'm gonna try to make it more often because you guys actually give me a lot of energy, and I think I really want it to be. I will try to make it maybe weekly or maybe we'll see how well this is gonna work out for everybody. And of course, like let me know what you want me to include in this webinar, and I tend to talk about topics about React. Maybe I'll focus on React a bit more, and at the very first few sessions, and it's going to be creating prototypes in Framer, but we could talk about other things. And this is going to be like a kind of short webinar compared to what else the other things that I've done in the past, and I want it to be like 30 minutes so that let's see how much we can cover. So one caveat is that it's probably not going to be very thorough. It's I won't be able to cover all the details, all the basic concepts. For those, maybe I recommend to you to check out my courses. For example, like for example, this course, prototyping with React and Framer, it includes all the step-by-step instructions of the basic concepts, and get you started from really like if you don't have a lot of experience in JavaScript and React, and I will get you prepared in those courses, and there are like a free version. I mean the free plan over there. You can give it a try to see if you like it or not. Okay, without further ado, the goal for today is to see how I gonna build this prototype, right? So I'll show you that. So you see this autoplay of this text being typed. Let me refresh, and you're gonna see it again, and it's gonna automatically type this text, and this box increases the height, and when I click on this highlighted word, and it'll show a pop-up, right? Let's see how we are gonna build it in Framer Web. Actually, before that, I wanted to ask you a question. So this is for creating prototypes, right? So I'm sure that you create a lot of prototypes in your work as well. I wanted to ask you, what are your purpose of creating those prototypes, and are you doing it for user testing, or are you doing it for like a better communication between design and development, or you wanted to present it to like product manager or like the executives or something? Just if you could share with us about like what are you prototyping for in the comment, and that would be great. And for today's this one, as you can see, this is going to be like super simple, I'll call it maybe kind of like primitive prototypes, and the goal for this is just to kind of show the concept. Like we want to see that this text is being typed over there, and we want to see that there is going to be something that clickable, and when you click on it, and we'll want to kind of visualize the effect of this pop box, right? And it's probably not necessarily like good enough to be used as a like user testing tool, but I think this is a Framer Web over here. Now let's start it. Get started by if you look at, maybe let's look at this again, and you can start thinking about what is the most difficult part in this animation? What is the most difficult part? And I guess, and I'll show you very shortly. But the things like these the effect of increasing, like, I mean, this is actually most difficult part that I will see if I have enough time to actually show today. But the rest of the animations, increasing the height of the box or making this clickable and then show up something like this, it actually can be done without any coding in the new framework right now. Like, for example, if I create a frame over there, and then let's make that box, right? That box. And I will assume that you can actually see everything, but if there's any problem, just let me know in the comment. And then add a border. I'll just add a random color here. That looks pretty ugly. Maybe lighter color. Okay, let's say we just use this one. And if you want to show the effect that it actually increase the height, and it's very easy. You can just copy this frame and then make it bigger. It just works as I think many prototyping apps, they have this capability of kind of animating before, like if you just give it before and after, it'll animate the result, right? And then after that, you see this box increases the size, right? And also, if you let's say we create another frame just for that like kind of circle over here. I think for this guy, right? And inside we can put an icon, and you can either click this insert or press I to give you a list of things to choose from. And I think we can use this icon set and insert an icon, and we get an icon there. And I think the icon is which one is the one? Arrow up. Okay, that's the icon. And let's just move it into is it inside? Maybe it's inside this round. Okay, that's great. And now we can make a copy and put it over there. Oops. Copy this round, put it into the like after frame, and then you'll be able to see the in the preview as well. It actually stick to the bottom of the screen because we say so in this for this round. So anyway, so what I meant that it seems to be very easy to actually create animations like this, and also including this pop-up, right? You can create another frame, and shadow, so that add a shadow, and then we have something there, some item. I won't try to type the correct thing because of the timing constraint, but the idea is that, like, maybe this should be here. Let me delete that. Copy the same thing back to the start state, and we can just change its opacity in the before, and then you'll be able to see the actual kind of pop-up like that. And I won't actually try to connect those things. But like for today's demo, it's actually more complicated than that, because although you can very nicely and visually change like making animations like this, I don't see that they have a way to kind of like easily chain those things together. Or I mean, especially for this part, like after we show this full text, we want to expand the blue box. uh, so basically it's not so easy to chain animations so far, like if you build things visually. So that's where we need to kind of add coding instead of doing it visually. So let me create another frame. Let's get rid of the link. Get rid of the link. Okay. Now let's see how we can actually increase the height of it in code, right? Over there is a thing called I think if you choose this one, and there's a thing called overwrite. So if it's not there, I think it's by default Framer actually hides the coding option, but we want to actually do the coding here. So if you go to the menu, and I think how do I okay, I want to zoom in. If you go to the editor, and I think there's a code option, let's just choose this always show code, so that we can always see the code. Now there's overrides on the right. Overrides, and let's add a new override, new file, and then we're gonna create a file over see the file over here. This is the app file, and it's super small. Okay, get rid of everything here. Get rid of everything here. Too much help. And then let's start typing our first override, right? It's called override. Maybe what is like a text box or something, and it's a function, and it's an override, and then it's gonna return an object. So of course you need to know JavaScript in order to work with this. But I think you can actually grab from the examples and try to do some change, try to change these things. It might help you as well. But of course, like in order to fully understand what I'm doing here, it will be better for you to actually know more about JavaScript and a little bit React as well. But for now, like let's maybe not too much about React. But over here, we're gonna return. We want to change the height of the box, right? So we're gonna return an object, and the height. Let's say if we change it to 400, and go back to the canvas, and we want to choose that override text box, and then in the overview you will be able to see, I think before, yeah, actually I kind of jumping steps, but so it's gonna go straight to 400, and that's why you see this like 400 here. This is a tall box here, but let me actually go back to where I. Okay, let's do this. Let's create a data item, and the data height. Initially, let's say it's 50, and we want to change it to 400. 400 when we click on it, maybe, We will change that triggering event a bit later. But now, for now, we're going to say that its height equal to the height that we put in this data object, right? And if we want to change it to like unclick, when we click on the text box, we want to change its height. We can do so like data height equals 400. 400. For some reason it doesn't like it. Yeah, let's use animate instead. So the difference between the height and the animate is that you know, it what's going on? Oh, it doesn't like me. Okay. Okay, that's better. I don't know what's going on. That seems to be a bug or something. But now when you click on it, maybe 400 is too tall. Let's make it just 200. So that's kind of like what we want, right? Kind of like that. And I am going to explain a little bit. So this animate tells us that we want to animate the height to be whatever available in this data.height. So whenever I but initially it's 50. Whenever I change it to 200, you're gonna see this effect, right? So we're gonna just keep this code a little bit here, and we will. Actually, let me comment out this here, and we'll change the height of the box a bit later, not right now, not when it is clicked. Now I'll see how much of the time you have. 13 minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes is pretty tight time frame. But yeah, so answering Bruno's question, yes, I will share the code actually after this webinar, and it will be completed code. But for now, let's work on this. This is actually more difficult. Is that you want to see this text like kind of automatically being typed out, and also the delay between each letter stroke, it's actually not even. So we'll do it step by step. First of all, I'm gonna create a text right here, and I'm gonna just grab the text here. Let's call it here. Okay. Sentence, right? Grab the text. I think I copied more than I needed here, but maybe just this. Okay, and to make it kind of wrap around the box, we need to change this auto to fixed, and then if we just move it, and it'll successfully wrap it like that. Okay, slightly bigger. Okay, let's define this as a kind of like end state here. And now our goal is to override the text of this this text box, so that we can change it when we are when there's basically we can change it periodically, right? Again, we want to add an override, and it'll be app, and it'll be something else. Let's edit the code here. Copy this letter, it's called letter typing or something, and then it's not gonna return this anymore. It's gonna return the text. Let's put some kind of placeholder here, and go back, and don't forget to actually assign the override to this letter typing. So I've just chosen this for the text. This is it's very easy to forget actually. I wish there is a better workflow than that. But you can see that right now it's ABC. It's not the text that I have here. And then let me pasting that. I need to get it here. Yeah. Okay. So that's the sentence. So if now the thing is, if we do this, and it'll be the sentence that we want, right? But we want to do it periodically. To do that, we will need a few things. We will need use like timeout to kind of do things repeatedly, and we need to, like, after each round, we're gonna get one letter from this string, and get one, and append it to the letter. So basically the idea is that let me type the code and I'll explain. Hopefully that'll be easier. And sure, this is like I said, this is a kind of improvised version of the talk that I was hoping to do, and maybe things will jump around, but we're gonna use useState here. Actually, they're no longer importing React. So let me can type import useState, and we're going to use effect as well, so that we can set that repeating behavior. And let's use state. By default, it's empty string. Use state. Why there's still error? Okay, and then the text is going to be this letter, so it's nothing. And then we want to set a timer. So in order to set it, because the timer is side effect, we want to put it inside this useEffect. And we'll use setTimeout. And I know that if you're not familiar with JavaScript or React, this is so difficult to understand. But I figured that, like, I think to show you what's possible is also useful. That's one of the feedback that I got before, and then after that you can dig in and to try to actually understand what's going on here. Okay, so the timeout, let's say it's 200 milliseconds, and then this is where we want to set the letters. We want to append it to something like just one letter inside this sentence, right? So we need like an index here. Okay, and now maybe index. It has to be another state. Set index useState. Initially it's 0, and we will need to change it to be like that. And for the useEffect, we want to put an dependency here. I think that'll work. Is it working? It's not working for some reason. Sentence. So demo god is not really with me today. Oh, it's working. Okay, yeah, you see that goes one letter by one letter. It's kind of like what we wanted, right? But it's actually not exactly what's going on here. Let's refresh. It's because the timing for each letter over here is not even. This is more realistic, right? So suppose that you're actually typing the sentence, you cannot type it like, oh, what? So because like we are keep increasing this index, we need to add a condition here. If it's smaller than length of the sentence, we want to do that. Otherwise, we will just keep it the same. Okay. So that should work much better. Let's make it type faster. Yeah, that's faster, right? Yeah, in order to make it work like exactly what's going on here, and have some code there to basically generate the delay beforehand, and then I'll leave you to actually look at this code a bit later, but I'm not gonna cover it today. But the idea is over here is that you see this is actually kind of working, right? And we want to expand this box after we typed to up to this letter, and then we're gonna expand it. And how are we gonna do that? Like basically, we want to notify. So when this happen, like when let's say if this index is equal to I don't know what that number is. I think I've got it here. It's equal to 30, right? 30. This is like if it's 30, we want to expand the box. Okay, we want to expand the box. So when this is 30, we want to expand the box. How do we do that? How do we tell this text box to expand? The answer is that we want to do it because we have the data here, right? And we have because we have already overridden this text box, its height to be data.height. So in order to do that, in order to make those two things actually talk to each other, we can just use this data object, and we can just change it to 200, and I think that is going to, yeah, so it's maybe not 200. So what's the correct number here? 4. I don't know. The scales they're different, but yeah, you get the idea. I think this is refresh it. Yeah, so that's kind of like the thing. And also you can customize the animation here by this transition prop. By default, it's a sprint, but if you give it a duration, it's no longer a sprint. It's just a easing animation. And if we refresh it, maybe it's not so noticeable in this webinar, but you can actually test it in your code. Yeah, what's going on? Oh yeah, so this unit here is not millisecond. I keep getting confused here. So it's second. So we need to do it 0.2, I think. That though. Okay, it's coming home. Yeah. So that's more of the expected effect. So let me see how much time I have. I'm running out of time. Okay. So but this is the key part. So what I want to show you is that it's easy to animate things on the canvas, as like Framer already provide us. Like we can create those animations by just specifying its before and after state. But like in order to coordinate between those things, it'll be slightly more difficult. So that's where I kind of just jump into the code to do this. And of course this like typing effect is more it's a bit more advanced, so that we will need some code in order to make it work. And to be honest, like sometimes sometimes I don't like, even if it's possible to do stuff in the canvas, like if you have many states, even if it's possible to coordinate this, coordinate the different animations on canvas, it'll get very, tangled. Like you're gonna get big canvas with a lot of wires going on, and if you take some extra effort to kind of learn coding, it actually looks a lot cleaner. I mean, at least to me. I don't know. What do you think? Um, cool. I think that's what I have today, and I have a couple questions. Um, using a hidden. So, is it possible? Hussein was asking, is it possible for text to increase its height based on the size of the straight text string? That's a good question. So that, I think I will try to answer in the next webinar. Um, Basically, with maybe a short version is that, like, basically because of how sizing and position works in Framer, it's not a trivial thing to do, actually, unfortunately. But in order to do that, we will need basically use HTML, like just write it as an like a web app, and we will be able to do that. Um, yeah. So here, half an hour is perfect. Thank you, Marcy. It'll be weekly, but maybe for an hour. Yeah, we'll see how far, how well this is gonna work. And 1 second, let me actually copy put the text, put the URL of the finished code so that you can have for reference. 1 second. All right, this, and yeah, it's kind of tricky to share projects, and because they only have an invite option, but I kind of stole something from their site, and yeah, just go ahead and give it a try to see if you can open that project. And this is a project that I'm seeing, you're seeing here. It should create a copy in your workspace, so that you can see all the code, and remember to turn it on, or maybe show code when used, and I think that's okay. Or maybe if you're like me, I will turn on this always show code, and that gives a lot more control of what you can do here. All right, so yeah, just what would you like me to demo in the next few sessions? I will try to do it weekly, but maybe not every week. But I will send you emails whenever I have something. All right, cool. If you guys don't have any more questions, I will stop the stream. All right, thank you. Have a great one.